In this presentation, I'm going to show a few methods on holding period rates. I don't know if you would call it an advantage or a disadvantage, but you must consider the period or time. And I'm going to go ahead and show a couple examples. One I'm going to use 1 year, and one I'm going to use 2 years. And I'm going to use three methods. I'm going to use some just basic math. The second, I'm going to use a little bit of time value of money formula, and then finally I'm going to end with an internal rate of return. So let's first start with just some basic math, and let's just look at one stock. Let's say we purchased a stock for $30 and it appreciated to $32 over a period of time, and we can call this period of time 1 year. And during that 1 year we received quarterly dividends in the amount of 25 cents. So times 4, there's a third and a fourth one. I won't write the quarter up here. So how much did we make? Well, our return on this stock would simply be nothing more than the dollar that we made in dividends here, plus the appreciative value of the stock, which is $2. And if we look at that, and this is again for 1 year, we made a total of $3 over a $30 investment, or we made 10% for that holding period. Now if you stop and look from a financial perspective here, what you've done is you've got the return of this stock is nothing more than the $1 divided by the $30 here, plus the difference of the selling price and the purchase price divided by this. And if we look really closely, what you have here is dividend yield. So you have RS equals, this is referred to as the dividend yield, which is nothing more than the dividends paid for that year divided by what we paid for it, plus this is referred to as growth. And if you look really closely and you algebraically rearrange this, you now have the constant growth model of P0 equals D1 divided by RS minus G. So that's one way of looking at it, and it's basically how much money I made divided by what I spent for that particular period of time. So let's look at it a different way. Let's take a look at maybe just the time value of money. Now I'm going to do time value of money, but it does not consider dividends here, just for the fun of it. I'm going to use the equation that future value equals present value. Let me erase that. I didn't put a little slash there. 1 plus the R to the N, and that should look like just a simple time value. And I'm going to solve for this. So let's just say that the stock is now worth $32, and it cost me $30. All I need to do, and it's for 1 period, is isolate R, and it's a really simple algebraic calculation. I'll divide through by 30. And since it's 1, all I have to do is it'd be 1 plus the R. And if I subtract a 1, it'd look like this: 3230 minus 1 equals R. Of course, I could make this right here, this 1 just 30 over 30, and subtract. So I got 2 over 30, which looks very familiar to this right here. Just be careful here, because if you're doing this period for more than 1 year, this number is going to be a greater number. Let's say that we do it for 3 years. If we do it for 3 years, it gets a little bit more difficult. So the algebraic formula would look like this: equals 1 plus the R to, let's say we do it for 3 years. In this case, we have to raise it to the third, and it'd be 32 over 30 equals the 1 plus the R. And then we have to subtract the 1, so it'd look like this: 332 minus, minus the 1. Make sure this negative 1, or the subtracting this 1, is not under the radical, would equal R. But that's the basic time value of money calculation for that period. Now again, that does not consider any dividends in this case. It's just the appreciative value of the stock itself, and that would be its geometric average as well, this rate. Finally, let's look at a last method, and I'm going to use it. It's called IRR. And let's consider a stock. Let's say we purchase a stock, and I'm going to go ahead and do this on Excel really quick. It's a little easier. So I've got an Excel spreadsheet already set up. Let's say we bought a stock, and it's today. We purchased a $40 stock. And let's say 1 year from now we purchase a second stock at $42, and this stock paid us $1 in dividends. And then the next year, the third year or 2 years later, we decided to sell these two stocks. Both of them were $50, and both of them paid a $1 dividend, so we received $51. So I went ahead and summed up. So year one, we spent $40. Year two, we made $1, but we spent $42, so we netted a negative $41. And then year three, or the second holding period cash flow, we sold both stocks for $50, and we received the $1 dividend. So another way of doing this is simply something called internal rate of return. So I'm going to go ahead and use, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use the formula for this. I know I've used it recently. It's right here. So I can just guess these values by simply grabbing them. And there's my answer. My answer is 16.46 is my internal rate of return. So that's a third method by which we can calculate our holding period rates.